Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Thursday, April 8th, 2021. It's being reported that there was another mass shooting last night, April 7th, in the town of Rock Hill, South Carolina. They're saying 5 people were killed, and the shooter was the former NFL player who grew up in Rock Hill, Phillip Adams. And the reason and motivation for the killing is a big unknown. But here we are again with another Wednesday shooting. If you're new here, we talk about gematria, the practice of coding numbers into words. And for years, we've educated about why the majority of mass shootings in the news come on Wednesday and Saturday. They are the 2 days of the week that have the same gematria as shooting. Wednesday equals 44 and 37, like shooting. Last Wednesday, we had the shooting in Orange, California, and they said the shooter was a 44-year-old. As for this happening on April 7th, written 4-7 like 47, notice in gematria, Rock Hill equals 47 when you run the alphabetic order in reverse. Forwards, Rock Hill, SC, like how you'd write the location on an envelope, Rock Hill, South Carolina, also 47. So perfect location for the date. And again, if you're new here, this is what we've been talking about for years. I got 2 books about this. How the news is contrived, how we're given these stories that really don't make that much sense, that are for the sake of agenda, such as disarming and taking away rights and, scaring people into the next misstep. This is what the news and government do day after day, by the numbers. And 47 is a huge number with government. Remember, government, authority, and news all equal 47. As we covered yesterday in the headlines, we had a dead MSNBC correspondent, dead at age 47. So remember, the Masons like their 47. On the compass of the compass and square for the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry out of France, they set it at 47 degrees. Keep in mind, in gematria, France equals 47, so do words like government, authority, Republican, Democrat, White House, president, they're all 47. Big numbers with authority. As for the state, South Carolina, has the gematria 57, like Phillip Adams 57. Scottish Rite's also 57. Again, it's their compass set at 47 degrees. The Scottish Rite out of France, and again, a lot of the founders of this nation studied in France, which is the home of the Jesuits and where the Scottish Rite came to power. And of course, D.C. is the land of the Jesuits and the Scottish Rite. And keep in mind, April 8th, the day of the news, can be written 8/4, both Masonry and Jesuit are 84, as is United States of America. The date can also be written 4/8, Freemasons 48. So is Illuminati, and the Bavarian Illuminati was created by the Jesuit Adam Weishaupt. Again, all these things are related. All related secret societies. For another 57, Georgetown's 57, the first Jesuit university in the nation's capital. Same cipher. And I noticed on his Wikipedia page, they refer to him as Phillip M. Adams. That has the same gematria, 61 and 74 as active shooter. Keep in mind the day of the shooting. It could be written 7/4 as well as 4/7. Rock Hill SC also has the 61 connection. Again, if you're new here, these are numbers that show up in active shooter situations so often. And his birthday, July 20th, 1988. Typically, July 20th is the 201st day of the year, a number we talk about all the time, the Jesuit order. But 1988 was a leap year, so that was the 202nd day of the year. And of course, last Wednesday, we were talking about how the shooting was at Office Building 202, and they were sure, and all the thumbnails of all the stories for it, sure to have the 202 up there, so you saw it. And we talked about how on March 22nd, the shooting at the Boulder, Colorado, the news detail came out that they identified the last victim at 2:02 a.m. And of course, 202 is a big number in Georgia right now, right next to South Carolina. Everyone's protesting Bill 202, having to do with voting rights. But remember what 202 is. It's the number of Skull and Bones, a Masonic/Jesuit/Knights Templar related secret society out of Yale. When you write out Skull and Bones, it equals 202. The 202nd minute of the day is 3:22 in the morning. Remember, the Boulder shooting happened on 3:22, and they said the last victim identified at 2:02. But again, same repetitive patterns. So he was born on the 202nd day of 1988. And from his birthday to his reported death, they said he committed suicide early today, April 8th. Today was his 263rd day of his age. Of course, that's the 56th prime. Big number with the Jesuits, Freemasons, the plural 56. Again, the same pattern, 263, 56. Just to go some years back at a shooting that factored right in was sports and a mass shooting. You might recall there was a shooting on the Vegas Strip the day of the tournament, and then hours later there was another shooting in Cincinnati where Xavier is, one of the nation's Jesuit universities, and the shooting hours before happened during the Gonzaga-Xavier game at the same time that game was going on. If you go to Gonzaga's campus, which is a Jesuit school, the main street that goes through it is Cincinnati Avenue, where Xavier is the other Jesuit program, and there's the Society of Cincinnatus and all that. But this shooting was on March 26, 26/3, like 263, the 56 prime, Society of Jesus 56, the 85th day of the year, basketball 85, the Jesuit motto Isus Hominum Salvator 85, the first March Madness in 85, the Catholic Church, the Jesuits control the world of sports, news, government, politics. That's how it comes together in this. An NFL player who signed, on the contract paid by the Jesuit-controlled NFL, now years later he ends up in a mass shooting ritual. Is this even true? I mean, maybe it's true. But here's what stands out. So, again, he died on his 263rd day of his age. And by the way, when you write out 5 dead, as the headlines say, it's 56. Again, 263 is the 56 prime. But the day of the killing would have been his 262nd day of his age, and Faustian bargain equals 262. And again, that's a deal with the devil. And by the way, deal with the devil, the day that he died, or not that he died, but these people reportedly died, it had 52 numerology, and the word devil is 52. A Faustian bargain's a deal with the devil. Faustian bargain equals 262. So on his 262nd day of his age, he's connected to this mass shooting. And again, it just makes you wonder what's really going on. Also, if you look up every website has him listed at age 32, but USA Today and other publications have listed his age as 33. He's not even he was in his 33rd year of life, but he was 32 years old. He would have turned 33 on July 20th. But people are, the mainstream's reporting that he's 33. They just got to put the number in the story, as they always do. Federal, police, masonry, secrecy, order, they're all 33. Again, we're talking about the same stuff week after week. We're circling the same days. I mean, you guys, it's just too obvious. I also have to wonder, because football equals 83, like murder equals 83. Never forget the song by The Police, Murder by Numbers, which came out in 1983 about how killing's the sport of the elected. It's as simple as ABC 1, 2, 3. But this shooting was exactly 8 weeks and 3 days after the Super Bowl, which is interesting. 8-3, of course, Brady won it, born on August 3rd, 8-3. Got to 83 career passing touchdowns in the postseason. Stayed on 38 interceptions on the 38th day of the year. Did Brady in Super Bowl 55 and the big ritual that was. But yeah, I mean, again, just another Wednesday shooting. Factoring in an athlete. He's from this town. And again, it's just what makes me wonder. It's like, are we sure that he's even responsible? He's from this town. He lives there. They're saying the motive doesn't make any sense. Nothing really makes sense. But then he killed himself this morning. Who's to say that, you don't have your government hit squad and they took out some family that's, some threat to somebody, and then they get rid of the football player too and pin it all on him? I mean, does anybody know that didn't happen? Because I don't believe a word of what's in the news. And, this poor guy might have just had the right numbers. We're talking about the shootings 202. The 202 they're encoding in mass shootings right now. And the next thing you know, a football player born on the 202nd day of 1988 is blamed. And here, July 20th. Again, it's the 201st day of the year. Remember, it's the day that the man landed on the moon. Neil Alden Armstrong equals 201, like the Jesuit order. But 1988 was a leap year, the 202nd day. And again, I'll show you this. Orange 202. Again, last week's shooting. Well, you also got the protest of Bill 202 right now. See what Victor Hovland does. The Masters is starting in Georgia, where this is going on 202 days after his birthday. But again, this was last Wednesday, March 31st. 4 killed. every thumbnail showing you Office 202, and right before that we were talking about Boulder and how they identified the last victim at 2:02 a.m. And for years we've been talking about how 2:02 is connected to Skull and Bones, which is identifies by 322. This is a shooting on March 22nd, 322. But last victim identified at 2:02 in the morning. So again, you got to say, what are the odds? And don't forget, I am the person in the background who has the license plate. Let me make it a little bit bigger that says, what is 47? And again, it's a number of authority that comes from Kabbalah that our authorities perform so many rituals around. And in light of this guy being a former NFL player, don't forget the first Super Bowl was in the 47th season of the NFL. Again, 47 is a big boss number. Represents time, represents foundation. All these things are rituals in time. We'll leave it there, Truth Seeker. Until next time.